Hey, I'm Nadeem Iqbal, and I'm going to talk about project environment. Project environment, the project environment is the environment where the project exists and operate within the internal and external environments that have varying degrees of influence or value delivery. By project environment, we mean this is the ecosystem in which the project exists, and there could be influence by the internal and external stakeholders. External environments, uh, the factors external to the organization include the marketplace conditions. Marketplace conditions include competitors, market share, brand recognition, and technology trends. Social and cultural influences and issues. These factors include political climate, regional customs and traditions. Regulatory environment. The regulatory environment may include national and regional laws. Commercial databases include standardized cost estimating data. So the external environments influencing the project. These could be what are the conditions in the market, how much labor is available in the market, what is the condition of the material supply, what are the social and cultural influences. There is a possibility that there could be public holidays which could influence the schedule of the project. There could be regulatory environments. That in certain countries, your project requires employment of the local uh, public. So there could be regulatory environment and also commercial databases. Product management. A product is an artifact that is produced, is quantifiable and can either have an end item itself or a component item. Product management involves the integration of people, data, processes, and business systems to create, maintain, and develop a product or service throughout its life cycle. The product life cycle is a series of phases that represents the evolution of a product from the introduction through growth, maturity, and to retirement. So a product could be something, let's say, mm, you are producing a automobile. So that's an artifact. You can quantify it. You start making an automobile and you end with the auto. So it's a component by itself. So if when you are managing a product, then that type of management is called product management. Project management principles. Principles for a profession serve as a foundation guidelines for strategy, decision making, and problem solving. Professional standards and methodologies are often based on principles. In some professions, principles serves as laws or rules. So by project management principles, we mean what are the rules and regulations, what are the laws that govern project management. By project management principle, it include to be diligent, respectful, and caring, create a collaborative project team, effective and effectively engage the stakeholders, focus on value, recognize, evaluate, and respond to system, tailor based on context, build quality into processes, navigate complexity, optimize risk responses, embrace adaptability, enable change. So all these principles are part of project management. And on top of everything else, you need to have very you need to have a very um, you need, as a project manager, you need to be very honest. You need to be very focused on the value. You need to make sure that whatever transactions you do, they should be done with full integrity. You should also be respectful to your team members. Collaborative PMT. Create a collaborative project team environment. Now, this is 3.2 section of your book. Team. Project teams are made up of individuals who wield diverse skills, knowledge, and experience. The project teams consist of people who are from different expertise, and their job is to, projects are delivered by project teams. Project teams work with organizations and professional cultures. There could be a collaborative project team environment facilitates alignment with other organizations, individual and team learning. So project management team, not only they collaborate among themselves, but they should have a very cordial environment. The project management teams interact not only among themselves, but also with external stakeholders. What are the different stakeholders? Stakeholders. This domain, they engage stakeholders proactively and to the degree needed to contribute to the project success and customer satisfaction. The stakeholders influence projects, performance, and outcomes. Project teams serve all other stakeholders by engaging with them. Stakeholder engagement proactively advances value delivery. So you, as in the project managers and the project management teams, they engage with the stakeholders. Now, if you are working on a project and it's required for your project that you engage your stakeholder. Your stakeholder could be your customer, could be your end user. So you need to effectively engage with your stakeholders. Leadership, demonstrate leadership behavior, demonstrate and adapt leadership behaviors to support individuals and team needs. Effective leadership promotes project success and contributes to positive project outcome. Any project team member can demonstrate leadership. Leadership is different than authority. Now, keep in mind, leadership does not mean that you become like a dictator or act like an authoritative way. Leadership means to take all the team members together in a collaborative manner and effective manner and produce the end result. Quality. Build quality into processes and deliverables. Maintain a focus on quality that produces deliverables that meet project objectives and align to the needs, uses, and acceptance requirements set forth by relevant stakeholders. So as a good project manager, you should only deliver projects with good quality standards. You should need to ensure that whatever you are producing, whatever you are constructing, meets the quality standards laid down by the project. Optimize risk response. Risk. Continually evaluate exposure to risk, both opportunities and threats, to maximize positive impacts and minimize negative. So you should on the project, there are different types of risks. There could be a risk that material price could increase. There could be a risk that the workforce would not be available. There are risks that the regulations might change. So you need to optimize all the risks. You need to make sure that you make changes on in your project so that you make the best use of the eco environment. You need to make sure that you weigh your risks and act accordingly. Suppose you come to know that there is a potential, there's a risk that the material price will go high, will be higher 6 months from now. So you proactively place orders now so that you could take care of that risk. Enable change. Enable change to achieve the envisioned future state. Prepare those impacted for the adoption and sustainable of new and different behaviors. So if you are working on a project, so there could be a change management required. As an example, suppose you have been tasked to redesign the processes of the school. Your job is to modify the processes, the way the school is governed, put new systems in there. So and that's your project with a start date and end date. So when you are making those changes, when you are putting those systems in that school, you need to make sure that you educate the staff. You make sure that they are ready for this change. Now we are going to study the PM book. It's a guide to the project management body of knowledge. You also need to write a project paper, and the project paper is what is a project management office. You're required to write 2-page project paper on this topic. What is a project management office? Explain the key functions, submission requirements are there. I'll post it all in announcements, so you can go through it in announcements, Canvas announcements. Make sure that you don't use AI for writing the project. Let's talk about project performance domains. Project performance domain is a group of related activities that are critical for the effective delivery of the project outcomes. Project performance domain, there are different project performance. There are 8 project performance domains: stakeholder domain, team, development approach, planning, project work, delivery, measurement, and uncertainty. Stakeholder performance domain. Stakeholder performance, the stakeholder performance domain addresses activities and functions associated with stakeholders. So they are the effectively execution of this performance domain results in the following desired outcomes: a productive working relationship with stakeholders, stakeholder agreement with project objectives, stakeholders who are project beneficiaries are supportive and satisfied, while stakeholders who may oppose the project as delivered do not negatively impact the project. So in this domain, whoever works in the stakeholder domain, they interact with the stakeholders. The stakeholders are the end users. The stakeholders could be your customers. So people who are working in this stakeholder domain, that's their job, to ensure that the project delivers to the satisfaction of the end users as well as the customers. And here is an example of the different stakeholders. Stakeholders could include suppliers, customers, end users, governing bodies, steering committees, the project manager, project management team, and the project team. They're all part stakeholders. Stakeholders engagement. The stakeholder engagement includes implementing strategy and action to promote productive involvement. So you identify the requirements, you understand the requirement, you analyze, you prioritize the requirements, you engage the stakeholders, you monitor your progress, and you go back like this. Stakeholder engagement activities start before or when the project starts and continue throughout the project. So you identify the stakeholder, you understand their requirements, you analyze it, you prioritize it, you engage the stakeholder, you monitor the progress, and you go back on identifying more requirements if needed. So you continuously keep engaging your stakeholders. Type of communication, there could be verbal communication and there could be written communication. Verbal is presentations and written is something like you put progress reports. So communications are two types, push and pull. Push is communication sent to stakeholders such as memos and emails. Sending emails and status reports is called pushing the information out. Pull is information sought by the stakeholders such as project team going to an intranet to find communication policies, running internet searches and using pulling information used for indirect sensing of stakeholders' concern. So information pulling is like you go to the internet and get some information from there and pull it. Or you go to the intranet within the organization to find out what are the policies, any templates, and you pull that information. Team performance domain. The team performance domain addresses activities and functions associated with the people who are responsible for producing project deliverables that realize business outcome. Effective execution of this domain results in shared ownership, high-performing team, and applicable leadership and other interpersonal skills demonstrated by all team members. So team performance domain so this is actually how well the team is performing. How the project management team, what is their performance? Are they performing their tasks as per the expectations of the project? Centralized management and leadership. While centralized activities should be practiced by all project team members, while leadership should be practiced by all team, management activities may be centralized or distributed. So in the centralized management and leadership, so the leadership is in the center, and everybody else works and reports to the centralized leadership. In a distributed management, the sometimes project managers shared among a project management teams and project team leaders are responsibilities for. So what in distributed, the tasks are distributed among the team members. Small teams are created. Each team is then empowered or to manage their own task and make sure they are completed. So the management is distributed. Project team culture. Each project team develops its own team culture. The project team's culture may be established deliberately by developing project team norms. Human beings have a set of biases, some of them unconscious and some of them conscious. For example, one person may feel that unless a schedule is displayed using a software generated Gantt chart, that is not true. Another person may have a contrasting bias that detailed planning any further out 30 days is a waste of time. So all the project teams have their own culture, their own way of thinking. So some of the project management teams say unless the complete Gantt chart is not printed, our schedule is not complete. Another team member could think, no, up to 30 days schedule is good enough because things might change in 30 days and a new schedule should be prepared. So every team has its own culture. 3 ways to create a culture that brings out the best in employees. Here is a YouTube video which I will put on the uh, internet, and you can then use that and read it at your convenience. High performance teams. One of the effective leadership is to create a high performance project team. There are a number of factors that contribute to the company. Open communication, shared understanding. So shared ownership, trust, collaboration, adaptability, resilience, empowerment. High-performance team have an open communication. They talk to each other openly. They brainstorm ideas. They do problem solving. Shared understanding, the purpose for the project and the benefits it will produce are held common. Shared ownership. They feel the project management teams feel that they share the ownership of the project. They trust each other. They collaborate with each other. Leadership skills are essential for project management team members, whether the project team is operating in an environment with centralized authority or shared leadership. The following section describes some of the traits and activities associated with leadership, establishing and maintaining a vision. The leaders, they have a vision. They know where the project is leading and how to reach there. So they have a clear vision. Motivating project team members has two aspects. First is understanding what motivates project management team members. Second is working with project team members in a way that they remain committed to the project and its outcome. So you got to, as a good project manager, you have to continuously keep motivating your staff. Example of intrinsic motivation are achievement, challenge, believe in work, make a difference, self-direction. So you need to empower the employees, give them challenging tasks, give them the responsibility, train them so that there is a personal growth and make them feel that they are part of the project team. Interpersonal skills that are used frequently in projects includes emotional intelligence, decision making, and conflict resolution, among others. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotion of others. So how you manage the project, how if it is you are in an extremely stressful environment, how you manage your emotions. If your team members are emotionally stressed out, how you manage those team members. So that is where the leadership skills come in. These are the components of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, social skills. Self-awareness means how do you affect the team? How do the team affect you? Self-management, think before you act, build trust. Social skills, establish rapport, build effective teams. Social awareness, be empathetic, employ active listening. That's all for now. And we'll stop at this slide number 85. Thank you. And the next lecture would follow.